On Sunday, January 12, it was National Pharmacists Day. I think it's quite appropriate that we pay attention and give reward to the work that pharmacists do. I would like to extend a warm thank you to Iowa pharmacists for their dedication and for their service. Now, while we commonly know pharmacists as someone who fills our prescription needs and educates us about medications, pharmacists are typically the most accessible healthcare provider, and that's especially true for rural America. Do you know what? Nearly 90% of the U.S. population lives within 5 miles of a pharmacy. Now, for several Congresses, I've been leading a bipartisan effort that's called the Pharmacy and Medically Underserved Areas Enhancement Act. This bill encourages pharmacists only where they are licensed and trained to do this to offer their health care services under Medicare, such as health and wellness, screenings, immunization, and diabetes management. This is necessary because for many seniors in rural areas, it's simply easier to get to a pharmacist than it is to get to their nearest doctor. Now, also know that it's vital to protect rural pharmacists from greedy pharmacy benefit managers who have placed unfair pressures on pharmacies in recent years. In fact, I hear from a lot of Iowa pharmacists that if we don't do something about pharmacy benefit managers, we're going to continue to lose pharmacies in the small communities of rural America, and particularly Iowa. So since 2018, I and about 65 or 70 of my colleagues have been trying to hold PBMs accountable and do that through legislation, about 3 different pieces of legislation, so that we can lower prescription drug prices and in turn keep our rural pharmacies in businesses. We want to do this through transparency because nobody knows what PBMs do. It's an opaque operation, and yet they make up our formularies. Do they help big companies, pharmaceutical companies, or do they help the consumer? We don't know, and we need to do that. So I hope this Congress will move on some legislation to make PBMs, what they do, transparent, because with transparency comes accountability. I'm going to keep fighting for our pharmacists and our consumers.